Anyway, welcome back to Strictly Sports. I'm Ethan.
I'm Austin. And this is where all the sports takes happen.
Except not anymore, because, well, shit went viral.
There was a lot of viralness going on.
Yep.
Because I've seen a lot of the YouTubers I personally follow have this issue. We are not going to say why, because then we'll get demonetized.
Wait, we get demonetized for saying why sports is canceled?
What the viral thing is.
Oh, really? That's a thing?
Yeah.
I have not heard that. I will dance around the C word.
Oh, no. Anywho,
I definitely won't talk about 19 anything.
Let's 19. That's Martin Truex. That's a race car driver.
Sports, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So sports is canceled for a while,
but there are some things in the NFL going on, so we can talk about that.
Yeah, free agency is still a thing. So.
Yeah. It is unfortunate that a lot of the sports stuff was, that was supposed to happen with just, no fans. They just went ahead and canceled most of them, like IndyCar and NASCAR.
I mean, there was
some of the NBA.
There was a really surreal game. I can't remember who it was from, and I only watched a little bit of it.
Was it that soccer game?
Yeah, the Champions game where it was just an empty stadium.
There was one really cool thing in that, though, and that's that there was a fan that passed away last year that had attended every game for like 40 or 50 years in that stadium, and they made a small little statue for him in the crowd.
Oh.
So in a way, he was the only fan there that day.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is a nice little cute gesture thing.
Yeah, and there's been some other heartwarming stories coming out from the cancellation of all sports everywhere. There's been several players who have donated their salary so that the workers at the stadiums that they play at will get paid. That's really cool. I remember seeing... I can't remember. It was a baseball player, and it was Minute Maid Stadium.
I don't know which one that is.
I don't want to watch this baseball anymore. Sorry. And then there was an NBA player who did the same thing, and I just think that's really cool.
Zion Williams.
Yeah, that was him.
It was him, and then all the more reason for me to stay a Mavericks fan. The owner, Mark Cuban.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's making sure that everyone gets a salary that is normally just a stadium worker. Yeah,
that's really important, because that's really kind of like, it's devastating. It's not devastating, but it's sad that we don't get to have sports in our lives for a little bit. But it's really devastating for all the people who actually work in that industry, and get paid hourly because
like that is their sole source of income.
So it's a crazy situation.
Another crazy thing is the WWE stuff that's going on. I don't know if you've seen any of it lately.
Yeah, what are they doing in the wake of all of the C-wordness?
So SmackDown still happened on Friday.
Okay.
It was just moved from... They were supposed to be somewhere in Detroit. I think it's in the Pistons arena they were supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But because of all this, they took precaution and moved it back down to the Performance Center where they do like the NXT and all that.
Okay.
And instead of having fans, there was no one.
Really? So
it was an empty arena.
Wait, okay, so this is the WWE's chance to rebrand as the new SNL.
In a way, they could.
They could just do short skits.
Yeah.
Their stories would make so much more sense.
You're not wrong. But it was very, very weird because so many people were trying to avoid, any major gatherings, even though there was still under 250 people at the Performance Center through all this. Because, WWE only needs 100 total people to run a production.
Yeah.
And then, some wrestlers to be the actors, if you will. But they only had so many people there.
Wrestling's not real? What?
That's a topic for another time.
What?
But Triple H, not only was he on commentary, at one point he was running a camera.
Oh, really?
There's a great picture of it online. If you're listening to this, go look it up right now. It's pretty interesting. It reminds me of a storyline they did in 2010, 2011, where Triple H was like the main, like, general manager, if you will, of Raw. And there was a huge thing where
yeah, I'd seen that picture.
You see it?
Yeah.
There was a huge thing when he was the general manager of Raw, though, where everyone, like, voted no confidence for him, and there was, like, a small strike, if you will, and it was just him, a couple of cameramen, and 3 wrestlers that were, like, going through about the first hour or so of the show.
That's awesome.
Because CM Punk was one of them, and he was the commentary. It was just him. And then Cena and Sheamus had the match, and Triple H was the ref.
That's hilarious.
It's very interesting. It was one of the better storylines they've done. Anyway, getting off that, let's go ahead and go back to the stuff that, we still have some juice for at the moment. NFL.
Yes, free agency is nigh. So many deals, so many franchise tags, so many things I don't understand, but...
My Miami Dynasty is starting to come together.
Oh, yeah?
The Dolphins are in talks with Melvin Gordon.
Oh, thank God, they are?
Yes.
I was afraid he was going to Detroit, and I didn't want it.
Yeah.
I didn't want it at all. Everyone, I kept reading sports analysts that were like, yeah, Detroit would be a great fit for him. Like, no!
No. Honestly,
no!
I only see Detroit picking up one free agent of any caliber. I think they're going to get Case Keenum. And
that's a free agent with caliber?
I'm saying that because you guys need a backup quarterback badly.
Hey, David Blount is perfectly fine. He's a Hoosier, sort of. He went to Purdue.
That's nice. He's still not good enough to be a starter.
Blah.
At least Case Keenum, in worst case
wait,
scenario.
we still have Jeff Driscoll, I think. Or did we move on from him?
Everyone's moved on from him. If you still have him, I would be shocked because I would get rid of him. That would be an easy cut for me this offseason. Save yourself 10 cents and go get rid of him.
Wait, so you think that Ron Rivera is going to jettison Keenum?
Oh, yeah. I think they're about to jump on the Haskins ship and just see where it goes.
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't
think
be.
They're about to jump off of the Haskins ship.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they either A, draft another quarterback, or B, pick up a different quarterback. I just don't see it being Case Keenum. He just doesn't really suit me as a Ron Rivera guy.
Jeff Driscoll's only 26 years old?
Surprisingly, yeah.
He seems so old.
Well, that's because he's been on the Bengals forever. It ages people by 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Ugh. Wait, no, he hasn't even been in the league that long. He was drafted in 2016.
Yeah. Well, again, what happens when you're on the Bengals? Every year in a Bengals year adds 10 years.
It's like dog years.
Yes. It's really sad. Still better than being Brown years.
Oh, no.
That's like, you're in the league for 3 years, and that's a millennia.
But yeah, there have been some signings. One of my personal favorite players right now, Awesome Eckler, just signed a $24 million deal. I think for 3 years. So yeah, the Chargers are in on Austin Eckler, it seems.
I mean, good for them. I'm not opposed. I think he's a pretty talented running back.
The only thing this kind of means to me is I gotta assume there's no way they're gonna bring back Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, which is why I actually am thinking more and more by the minute that my Miami Dynasty will come true.
Hey, don't get too excited because I heard Miami was also looking at Derrick Henry.
That's not going to happen. If Derrick Henry leaves the Titans, there will be a revolt that we've never seen before.
It would take so much fucking money. Just so much money.
The Titans, if they don't get Brady, I can tell you this, will give Derrick Henry the rights to the stadium at this point because why not?
I just don't think that they're going after Tom Brady.
I think they kind of gave up on that because there are 2 other teams courting Tom Brady outside of the Patriots. One is the Colts, and I don't even know if they're actually courting them or if there's just a bunch of rumors everywhere that makes it sound like they're courting them. The other is making me question my sanity. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wait, what?
Are going after Tom Brady.
That is what? No, that can't be.
Because, according to a source that's very close to the Tampa executives and whatnot, this is the lineup for their targets for quarterback this year. Number 1 is Tom Brady, and they're going to give him the fucking moon to come down and be there. And if he still declines, then they are going after Teddy Bridgewater. If Bridgewater doesn't come there and gets a better deal elsewhere, which I think he will, then they're going after Phillip Rivers. If Rivers doesn't work out, then they are going back to Jameis Winston. And one of those.
Is there no one else? Cam Newton?
Honestly,
Derek Carr.
I don't.
Derek Carr. Come on, guys.
I would like Derek Carr. That would be a good one.
I don't think that Brady's play style is gonna fit Arians' coaching style.
It wouldn't. Although that said, I would turn to the dark side and accept Brady just for a fucking chance. Do you know how long it's been since Tampa's been in the playoffs?
I just don't think...
I just want a winning season.
I mean, it'd be great, but I just don't think that Tom Brady has got that special of magic to make that happen. Tom Brady would have to start taking risks, and he doesn't take risks at all.
See, the biggest thing is Tampa's play style is a lot like the Chiefs' play style, which is run and gun.
Like, I mean, air raid all day long. That's what Arians is about.
Yeah, and you just you got to be able to air it out, and I don't think Brady can do that, which is why I hope they end up with Bridgewater.
That being said, Brady hasn't had access to weapons like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin
in quite a while.
A long while. Ooh,
like Edelman's prime and Randy Moss was probably the last time.
They would totally keep O.J. Howard.
That's true, because Brady does like tight ends. Man, O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Arians is going to have to learn how to use a tight end.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. If Tampa does go after Brady, they said they'd give him some executive power, too. Just for coming down there, because they know it's a big deal.
Well, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Now, you told me something earlier here, off-cast. Something about Belichick?
Ooh, yeah, there's been some rumors. There's a former Patriots linebacker, Ted Johnson, I think, who basically just intimated Belichick is not interested in Tom Brady for his current price.
Well, I think Tom's asking a lot for his current price because he knows, well, I've got all these rings. I've made the playoffs so many times. Sure, I lost to the Titans this year and fucked everything up, but I'm still worth a lot of money. And I get it, but at the same time, he needs to understand he's getting older. People are not going to pay him that. He's, 42, 43 now?
I think he's 43.
Yeah, which means take what you earned last...
5 more years.
No. I'm sad. Unless he comes to Tampa. But he just has to understand they're not going to pay him that in New England. Because Bill Belichick can just raise another one from the grave.
Yeah, he'll go find a warm body to fill Tom Brady's spot.
He will literally just go grab Jacoby Brissett off the Colts and be like, you're coming back home. Get over here.
What if this ends up with Tom Brady sitting out this season because of something kind of like what Le'Veon Bell and Melvin Gordon did last couple years?
I think that would be terrible for his career, to be honest with you.
I think he would just retire at that point. Yeah. He's old enough.
But if they, like, franchise tag him or something, I could see him doing
it.
it.
Ooh. Speaking of franchise tags, the Chargers made some moves.
Who'd they franchise tag?
Hunter Henry.
Keeping the tight end.
Locking him down.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a good move. There's no more Antonio Gates around, so you need someone to throw to, so.
I mean,
Henry's a good one.
Antonio Gates still playing for the Chargers?
I don't know anymore. Sometimes he's there and sometimes he's not.
He's like a ghost. He's just sort of...
He appears whenever you think about him.
Hold on. Is he...
Oh, I did hear.
Yeah, no, he still plays for the Chargers. Yeah.
All right.
39 years old. Oof.
Man, that's nuts too. Speaking of nuts, I saw a report last week because this kind of dates this a little bit, but I don't think we did a podcast last week for sports.
Get over it. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's no sports anymore. My life is over.
It'll be all right. But I saw Jordan Reed had an interview. Not with the Redskins.
What? Are his floopy toes healed?
Perhaps. I believe he went and had a discussion with the Bears.
Has his body said that he can play football again?
I mean, if he's on the Bears, are there enough options otherwise to make sure he doesn't get hurt? Like, who else can the Bears throw to?
Tight end?
I guess they have Allen Robinson. He's good.
They got is it Kevin White? He's not terrible. Cameron Meredith as well, or he plays for the Saints now.
Yeah, because Meredith moved on. I don't know. I'd move on too if Trubisky was throwing me crap, but that's
they have. Oh yeah, he would be replacing Trey Burton.
Oh boy, big shoes to fill there.
Anthony Miller. How could I forget about Anthony Miller?
He won me a couple of games this year.
Yeah.
Well, I say won me. He did good for me a couple of games this year.
And man, Cordell Patterson, he's not like a super like flashy player or anything.
He's really good on the return game, if I recall.
I know, he's so good at returns.
Like, he's honestly like a toned down version of Devin Hester.
All right, yeah.
Because unfortunately, Devin Hester, there'll be never be another one like that.
But I mean, Cordell Patterson is he's interesting. He's fun to watch.
He's definitely a top 10 returner of all time, I'll say that. Ooh, that could be an interesting topic. People that you don't think about that were actually really impressive in the NFL.
Ooh.
Like Darren Sproles. He's had his time.
He was impressive at one time.
Yeah.
Here's a rumor I heard, and also someone who used to be impressive. Well, I mean, he still continues to be impressive because he's Frank Gore and is infinite.
The man who will never die.
He apparently has no plans to retire this year.
Good. I want him. I want Frank Gore to be the oldest player to ever play in the NFL.
Oh, yes. Age 50, still tearing it down the middle.
I'd love to see him at age 50 get 1,000 yards on the ground.
I don't know if that's in the cards, but I could see him getting 500 yards.
A couple of touchdowns,
Yeah.
But more importantly, we need to start a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And we can push this on the main cast as well. Frank Gore, go to a Super Bowl winning team, please.
Ooh, but no, unfortunately, no offense to Mr. Gore, there's just so many better options at running back most of the time.
Don't get me wrong, there are, but Gore is a reliable option, I feel.
Yes,
because he will guarantee you stuff. He will guarantee you 500 on the ground, about 5 touchdowns, and the invulnerability of injury. Because he doesn't really get injured.
Yeah.
There's been rare cases where he does, but it's always like a weak thing. It's not like, oh, he's out for the season.
I think it would be great if the Bills re-signed him, and I hope that he ends up on a team because he is just a fun player to watch.
I love Frank Gore. If he ends up on the Bucks for whatever reason, because you've seen our running back core, it's not great.
I mean, it's not the worst. I would argue this last season that, what was his name?
Peyton Barber or Ronald Jones?
Yeah, okay. The real problem is that just none of them kind of stand out from each other. But
it's because they're the same person, just 3 years apart.
They've shown flashes of like excellence.
Peyton Barber is really great in the pass receiving game. He's like a catching running back. Ronald Jones is really good at getting to the outside in like a little bit of speed. But the problem is we don't have anyone that can run it up the center and just wear out a defense. which is why our run game sucks ass.
Yeah, it does. Also, Bruce Arians only cares about the pass.
Not wrong.
Put it there!
If we can get some more receivers or a better pass catching running back, maybe we'd be all right. But
too bad Austin Eckler is already signed.
I mean,
Chargers Super Bowl.
Chargers are not even going to make the playoffs.
No, they're going to sign Tom Brady.
They're not signing Tom Brady.
And he's just going to pass the hell out of it to Austin Eckler, and they're going to a Super Bowl with it.
No.
It's happening.
No, it's not
happening.
They might go 8-8 if they do that.
If they sign Tom Brady and he gets to pass to Hunter Henry, a just physical beast of a man, and Austin Eckler, man, they're definitely going to the playoffs, and they're definitely making it past the first round, unlike last year for Tom Brady.
I just have one question for you. Who's the Chargers coach?
I don't
Exactly.
Get out of here. Details? Snyder?
No, I know who the Chargers coach is.
I don't know.
It's not that.
Okay, I'm a baby when it comes to NFL knowledge. I only know fantasy, and that's it.
All right, I'll let you look that one up. As for
it's Anthony Lynn. He's a perfectly fine coach.
Is he though? When was the last time the Chargers made the playoffs?
Well, he's only been there for 2 years, so...
Yes. Well, that's because Mike McCoy was the coach before that, and he was not good.
No, he was not. But he's been there for 2 years. This is his third season. There's no reason why they necessarily should have made the playoffs.
Well, he's
no Harbaugh.
No, but he's still not good enough that I think he could lead even a Tom Brady-led team to the playoffs yet. Perhaps a young talent or someone who just isn't Phillip Rivers.
What? Phillip Rivers is a great quarterback, said everyone everywhere.
Phillip Rivers is the definition of C-.
The man has a family to feed.
I know.
A large, growing family.
And he will have a great family down in Miami. But as for the realistic part of this, I just don't see the Chargers making the playoffs. Ooh, we could talk about who we think at this current moment would make the playoffs next year.
Okay.
Who do you think would make it from the AFC West then?
AFC West.
Or AFC in general, since you seem to think the Chargers are making the playoffs somehow.
AFC West. Oh, yeah, no. I mean, if the Chargers make the playoffs, they're making it as a wild card. Let's not try and pretend.
Okay, so you're at least admitting the Chiefs are better.
The Chiefs are definitely better.
All right, I can agree with that.
All right, yeah, no, AFC West, it's going to be the Chiefs, for sure.
100%.
AFC East?
That one could be the biggest toss-up of them.
Man, I'm not going to lie. I think all 4 teams could potentially be competitive. If Miami makes the right moves.
If the Miami Dynasty starts.
Yeah.
Then there's a chance they could make it. I don't think the same on the Jets, though, just because Adam Gase.
Oh, Mr. Beehole. Have you ever looked at his eyes? They look like buttholes.
It's true. It's
disturbing.
I didn't notice it until you started telling me, and now I can't stop looking at it.
His eyes are just the dark recesses of a butthole.
It's really kind of gross. But, and
I mean,
Buffalo and New England, though, I feel like you could go either one for winning.
I think one of them.
Buffalo's at a point now where they can compete to be number one now, which is really weird because
if the Patriots don't bring Brady back, they gotta have a transition year before they can go to the
before Belichick goes back to number one.
Yeah.
So they gotta give it to the.
I'm still not doubting their ability to make the playoffs. And maybe they make it as a wild card. I would put the Bills as being the first though right now.
I would agree, and I say New England is a wild card because it's hard to bet against Belichick.
All right, well then AFC South, man, that's another tough one because
It is.
Let's not talk about the Jaguars because they are inconsequential right now.
They don't even know who they're starting at quarterback, or if they're even keeping both their quarterbacks. So,
I think I read some reports that they are kind of just sort of, we're going with Minshew mania because Foles sucks, not a starter. Sorry.
Foles is good in certain scenarios.
He's a backup. That's it. He cleans up after everyone dies.
I'm gonna go ahead and admit this. I can't believe I'm saying this because about a year ago, I was on the Foles ship to freaking Super Bowl.
to nowhere.
Yeah. I was riding the Foles train and riding it hard, but now I gotta agree, it kind of looks like he's not worth the money. He's not worth spending any time for. It's just, no. Minshew will be the better pick.
Yeah.
At least he's popular, which helps.
Yeah.
Like, he seems like a good guy. He's fairly talented. Maybe with some work, you can make a pretty good starter out of him. Not saying anything crazy, but maybe like a little bit better than Tannehill.
He could be like the next Ryan Fitzpatrick
or Alex Smith.
Case Keenum.
Maybe just one step below Alex Smith.
Yeah.
But he'll make a playoff
Is
at
Alex
some point.
Smith coming back to the NFL?
So I actually heard on that. If he is not cleared this year, like for the 2020-2021 season, he's probably going to retire, and the Redskins are already offering him opportunities for coaching or executive, whichever he chooses.
That's cool.
Which is nice because he really deserves it. He's really trying. He's been a great guy. He's kind of gotten screwed over with some scenarios, but even in those scenarios, he was the definition of sportsmanship.
Oh no.
What?
I googled Alex Smith and there's a speculation article about Alex Smith going to the Patriots.
No, that won't happen. I guarantee that won't happen. You have my word.
Ugh, yeah, no way.
Anyway,
back to the AFC. What, the South? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. I would probably choose the Titans or the Texans.
I mean, I think it's going to be the Titans with the Texans as the wild card this year. It's going to flip-flop.
Well,
it ain't the Colts. The Colts are good, but I just don't see it.
See, I think it's going to be the Titans winning it, and the Texans will be there as a wild card as well. However, the AFC North is going to be the biggest question of them all.
Okay, it is.
Do you go against Baltimore?
I mean, no.
Because Roethlisberger's going to be healthy again.
I don't care. Their receiver core sucks.
What if they draft someone like Jeremy Lamb or D.D. whatever his last name is?
You mean CeeDee Lamb?
CeeDee Lamb.
I don't know who this Jeremy fellow is.
Oh, I think I just mixed up some people. But regardless, there's a fair amount of receivers in the draft that they could easily get.
First off,
the Bengals will not be in the playoffs this year. Don't worry. Even with
the fuck Rafelisberger, we don't need him. I don't care about him. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. I'm just gonna say it. He's not that. He's Phillip Rivers caliber.
Whoa.
Phillip Rivers caliber.
Those are some fighting words right there.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think Ben's as good as he once was. But he's not at that level yet.
I don't know. I mean, he's been held up by Antonio Brown for a long time. And Juju is a fine receiver, but...
Juju's like a...
I know he was dealing with like a 27th string quarterback this entire last season.
Duck Hodges and the other one.
Looked bad.
Yeah. Are you talking about Juju or...
Juju, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think Juju's an actual good receiver.
The only thing the Steelers had going for them is their defense. But that's it. Their offense looks bad. I don't think it's just the quarterback. I think it's all around not great.
I think they have a decent line in James Conner. And Roethlisberger, if he's healthy.
I think James Conner is overhyped. I think Juju's overhyped. I think they're just all overhyped.
I do agree with Juju. I don't think he's as good as they say he is. That said, though, they have the Ravens number sometimes.
Yeah, but okay, so the Ravens are perfectly fine going in there and losing to the Steelers. They'll just win all of their other games.
Oh, okay. But, I mean, obviously, the Bengals aren't going to win against either of those teams.
But Joe Burrow.
I don't care. Burrow might sneak in a win against the Steelers.
And then there's the Browns. I mean, the Browns are kind of a...
This was the year that if the Browns were going to do something, they were going to do something. And they did nothing.
Okay, now...
What?
To be fair...
To be fair...
They got rid of Freddie Kitchens. He shouldn't have been head coach.
He really shouldn't have. They should have kept Greg Williams, who finished out 6-6.
Yeah, they probably should have. But also, OBJ was definitely injured this entire last season. I'm not saying that OBJ will suddenly become top 3 receiver, but
He'll be
I
better
think
than
he's
what
going to
he
be
showed.
a lot better next year. A lot better than people expect. And Baker Mayfield can learn and improve.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could definitely make a run at it. I just think that their division is too tough because they got to fight the Steelers and the Ravens twice a year, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, that's... If you win any of those games, that's a tough. Because they're just too good at home. That's the problem. Because you go to the Steelers at Heinz Field too hard. Most teams can't do it, which is why I say the Steelers are still competitive. The Ravens, man, going to a Harbaugh-led stadium is difficult. I don't care what caliber it is, whether it's the NCAA or if it's NFL. It's just difficult.
Yeah, he's just a good coach. That's just how it works.
His brother is too. They're
right.
both really good.
So we've kind of picked our winners and losers. Who's the AFC champion?
I'm saying Chiefs go back.
Nah, man, it's the Ravens' year again.
No.
Lamar Jackson has a chip on his shoulder, and he is ready to throw it at everyone.
I do believe that will happen, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Hungering for a ring. He wants it.
See, my issue is I feel like the next Madden game is going to have Lamar Jackson on it.
Yeah.
And he's going to get the Madden curse.
But hey, Mahomes was on the cover last year.
And he still got injured.
And he still went to a Super Bowl.
He did kind of break the curse. I'll give him that. But
they got RG3. He can pretend to be Lamar Jackson for 3 games.
That said, when is the curse going to happen, though? That's what's the important part.
There is no curse.
Yes,
there's
always
Lamar Jackson is ready to prove himself, and he will by becoming an AFC champion and destroying whatever poor team becomes the NFC champion.
No, I believe we will get probably the best AFC championship we've ever seen. I think it will be the Ravens versus the Chiefs.
And the Ravens will win.
I say the Chiefs will win. Regardless, though, these way too early predictions of next year's playoffs.
All right.
That would be a great game to watch.
So now time for the other side.
NFC time!
All right, we'll start off with a difficult, kind of difficult one. NFC West. I mean, we got the Niners and the Hawks.
I mean, both
competing at the top of the division.
I don't see any way that they don't make the playoffs. It's just
both of those, yeah. I mean, I don't think the Cardinals are gonna take it.
No, Cardinals, they're too young.
They can flash in division, but
I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals go about 8-8 this year, though. That seems about right.
I would not be surprised.
As for
the Rams,
I think the Rams are about to fall off a cliff.
I mean, yeah,
because Jared Goff's
they already did.
Well, they didn't do great this year, and Jared Goff sort of started showing his true self, which is not great.
Yeah.
And I think they're about to blow up the team if they don't do well this coming season, and I don't think they are. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone but Sean McVay gets canned at some point.
Oof.
Because I would keep Sean McVay. He's a brilliant talent.
I have so many good receivers. Brandon Cooks.
What if
Cup?
What if Tom Brady goes to the Rams?
Get out of here. Tom Brady, make a decision. I'm tired of this speculation. Get out of here with your LeBron crap. I don't want it.
He's going to South Beach.
God, if Tom Brady does like a whole like big spectacle about this, I'm just gonna quit. I'm not a Tom Brady fan if he does that. I'm done with that crap. No, get out of
Which
here.
means Tom Brady, please do it. I need him off that bandwagon.
No, Tom Brady is the greatest.
No, he's not.
Will not abandon my ship.
Well,
All
your
right.
ship's about to burn. Anyway,
Speaking of burning ships, the NFC East.
that is the biggest dumpster fire of anything I've ever seen in my life.
Who wins the division?
No one wins. We all lose.
I mean, realistically, all four of them have a chance at being the top of the division.
It's true, because Ron Rivera going to the Redskins is essentially like taking a top fuel dragster and putting it against a Prius. So,
Well, and then, I mean, the Cowboys have made some questionable decisions in the coaching department.
understatement of the century.
Mike McCarthy?
I mean, they still got they have Kellen Moore at offensive coordinator though, which makes me interested because he's a really good mind. That's
true, but are they going to be able to keep the pieces? Because they have very expensive pieces.
Yeah, no, they're not going to. They're going to be able. They got Zeke,
and they're gonna hold on to Dak, but I don't.
Whether they piss off Dak in the process is the question, and then he might end up just pulling a Kirk Cousins and just leave somewhere else.
I don't see a scenario where the Cowboys start the season with Amari Cooper. For sure, I just don't think they have enough money.
Cooper was gone before all of the Dak speculation started. He was a great piece to have, but because they missed the playoffs, sorry, Amari, you're out, bud. As for some of their defensive pieces, I wouldn't be surprised if they're all gone too.
No, there was one that they already signed. I can't remember his name.
Was it Byron Jones?
Yeah, I think that might have been him.
That's probably the only one they're going to keep. The rest are gone. I can tell you that. Their offensive line they'll try to keep because it's incredible.
Yeah. Well, but we got to make a bold prediction. So I'm going to go for the NFC East. Let's go. We're going to go with the team in Washington.
You going with Ron Rivera?
Yeah, I love Terry McLaurin. Was so much fun to watch this last season. And no, I mean the Eagles are a dumpster fire. No one likes the Cowboys, and I mean, yeah, there's the Giants.
So,
whatever.
You see, the thing is, I'm going for one of the teams that you just said whatever to.
Yeah.
I think the New York Giants return to the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Daniel Jones had a few good games.
I think he does just enough to make the playoffs. Nothing more. They've got Saquon Barkley still, who is a great talent. They've got a pretty good receiver core with it all healthy now. It's going to be decent.
For now.
They don't have to worry about Eli ruining their morale. Not that he was a great guy. It's just
I don't think Eli was part of the problem. I think it might have been some coaching or some higher ups that were the problem.
That too. But the problem is it threw off Eli, and then Eli would throw off and throw to other teams. So, yeah. Unfortunately, it was just a catastrophe, and there was no way around it. But I think Daniel Jones makes playoffs.
I don't see it. Not this year. I think it's the Redskins. They're gonna bring in a new quarterback from somewhere, whether it's a rookie or if they go out and buy one. I think it's the Redskins for sure.
You guys can have Jameis Winston. I don't want him.
Oh man, I mean that would be pretty interesting actually.
Yeah, he doesn't really have
Better
to.
than Haskins.
By a little. At least he can throw it.
Yeah, at least he can throw it downfield.
Yeah, so there's a chance.
All right, so now for the NFC South.
NFC South. Now, this is an interesting one because it has my favorite team and it has the team of the person who I believe is the best player currently out there.
I mean, Derrick Henry's on the Titans.
No, I meant quarterback-wise. Sorry. But,
kidding. I do not believe that Derrick Henry is the best player out there. That is a lie.
Nope, we're writing that down.
Nope.
Ethan has said...
I was a joking.
that Derrick Henry is the best player.
Nope, I was a joking a little bit. Just having a little bit of a funny.
I'm going to write it down, and we're going to remember it forever.
Okay, yeah, so, I mean, it's the Saints. We're done talking about it, right?
Saints, but we're not done talking about it because...
We haven't given out any wild cards yet.
Well, we gave one to the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So we got one wild card left.
I think it's going in this division.
Okay. I mean, the Bucks. I mean, no.
Yes.
No.
I'm going with it.
This is the rebuilding year. They have to scourge themselves from the vile curse that is Jameis Winston and his 30 goddamn interceptions.
I think they get Bridgewater.
And they have to compete against a healthy Cam Newton.
Who says he's staying in Carolina?
And then there's the Falcons that are doing Falcon-y things.
I'm not very worried about the Falcons. The only things they have going for them are Julio Jones and Matt Ryan.
Didn't they cut Devonta Freeman?
They're about to.
Yeah, they are. But it's the Saints. I guess we can give the wild card to the Bucks. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest. There's just the wild card is almost. It feels like it has to go to the NFC North.
Well, if it's not going to be the Bucks, it will. Yes, for sure.
Which means it'll go to the NFC North. It's almost like compulsory.
Shut up. If they get Bridgewater, we'll live. Okay. We just have to get Bridgewater. Fuck Brady. Fuck Breeze. Or not Breeze. Rivers. Sorry, threw off there. Conveniently, like Winston did.
Or Rivers.
Or
also did that.
Yeah. Anyway, NFC North.
Yes.
Let's head up there. I say
fuck the Packers.
Fuck the Packers.
And I hope that they don't ever go to the playoffs again.
I hope they finish last, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Get as many draft picks as you want. Draft the heir to Aaron Rodgers so we can get rid of his ass.
Can we just be done with Aaron Rodgers? He's fine. I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers.
I don't like him as a person is the problem.
I don't like, how could you break up with Olivia Munn?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And dump her for Danica Patrick?
Why? The man makes questionable personal decisions. I can't even fathom the decisions he makes on the field.
Yes, I just don't get it. Aaron, if you'd like to ever come on the podcast and explain yourself,
feel free to. I will berate you.
He will berate you. I will not. I will just stand back and watch the dumpster fire happen.
But, unfortunately, let's admit it, they're probably the wild card.
If it's not going to be the Bucks, I would say that is the more likely scenario. I do think the Vikings win the division, though.
I mean, yeah, they're kind of a no-brainer like the Saints. And as competitive as the NFC North is, it's the Vikings. The run game.
The run game.
Dalvin Cook.
And if they don't trade Stephon Diggs,
they're definitely trading Stephon Diggs.
But if they don't,
he's gone. But they're going to replace him with,
someone even better, probably.
Amari Cooper.
I didn't even think about that.
What?
He's had a brain blast.
Diggs to the Cowboys.
Confirmed.
Ugh, I want it. Dak Prescott throwing to Diggs.
I don't think that Dallas has enough money for Diggs, to be honest with you.
They do not. But Diggs will go somewhere else, and I don't think it'll be the Vikings.
Where could Stephon Diggs go?
That's an interesting thing.
Ooh, what if he goes...
He's too young for Philly.
Yeah, and...
Minimum age for a receiver in Philly is undrafted or 30.
He's too old for Kansas City or Arizona.
Okay, yeah.
Because unless your name is Larry Fitzgerald, you cannot be more than 22 in Arizona.
That is a good point.
Could he go to the Colts? That could be an option.
Colts?
Who do they have? They have T.Y. Hilton. That's it. And he's old now. So
yeah, and injured a lot.
Yeah. So why not get a reliable
they have Chester
receiver?
Rogers.
Who?
Yeah. You know what I said, Chester Rogers.
I actually know him just because I like his name. It sounds like a chicken
there's
chain.
also, I think he'd look real good in, he would look good in blue. And I'm thinking more of like a navy blue with some red accents.
Are you saying the Patriots?
Yes, the Patriots. They need, Edelman is a good receiver.
But he's getting old.
They need somebody new. What do they have? I guess they have N'Keal Harry. It is his second year. That's kind of the breakout year for wide receivers. So maybe they don't want to make any moves on Diggs yet.
Well, I think they also want to see how the Mohamed Sanu thing works out.
I think they have already completed that experiment.
With all 4 games he was in.
I think they're done.
I wouldn't be surprised if they sign him back. No, I don't think he did either. But I wouldn't be surprised if they sign him back for a 1-year deal.
And then relegate him to the practice squad.
Either that or they trade him mid-season.
Ooh, you know who could use an extra threat? I mean, this is outlandish, but Matt Ryan could.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Calvin Ridley, but Julio Jones is getting old.
Wait.
What?
Ron Rivera.
I started thinking about that a minute ago.
Dig ourselves up a steamboat
and
take it down to the Riviera.
God damn it. I do like that, though. Stephon Diggs to Washington, I could see that. Or, what about Seattle? There is a trend of Vikings wide receivers going to Seattle after they leave, whether being traded or signing.
That would be interesting. I think that I honestly kind of feel like Seattle's pretty good in that department.
I mean, they got Lockett.
And let's not discount DK Metcalf. That man is a beast.
Well, why not have a third option?
I just don't think that Diggs wants that. I think Diggs wants to be number one. Diggs.
Now, he's got to make a tough choice here. Does he want to be number one, or does he want to win a Super Bowl? Because that's something he needs to determine.
I think he wants to be number one.
If he wants to be number one...
I mean, let's be honest. Winning a Super Bowl is cool. It's awesome. But
to know that you're carrying the wide receiver core of the team...
I think Diggs wants to be paid.
Well, if he wants paid, then best option's probably to head to Carolina.
Miami!
Ooh, he could take the spot of OBJ I was trying to preserve. Go join Devontae Parker down there.
Oh, good lord. I mean, yeah, that would be interesting.
That could...
But yeah, no, I mean, Diggs is not a clown like Antonio Brown is.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a brain, so...
But, Diggs just wants to be number one. He's good enough to be number one. He wants to be treated like it.
He just wants some love, man. And the bad part is they give all of the love to Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Which, he deserves it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Thielen's great, but so is Diggs.
And the combination of them, man, it's so deadly. It's just like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in Tampa.
It is, yeah. I mean, because, who are you going to guard?
Yeah.
They both kind of need a lot of coverage. And
you almost have to have 3 really good cornerbacks just to keep them from doing anything. 2 to keep an eye on both, 1 apiece, and then 1 to just catch whoever breaks free.
So, that being said, we got to pick our NFC champion.
All right.
Checking notes. I mean, it's the Saints again, isn't it?
I'm going to go against the grain here.
I mean, no, it's not the Saints. I mean, how could I forget about the Niners?
I've always picked the Saints to go to the Super Bowl for the past 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Breeze deserves one more chance, and every time he gets screwed over.
Man, he's going to have to be like Peyton Manning and go to a different team.
Not going to happen.
He's Jared Cook now.
Yeah, I'm going to go against the Saints because I think they're going to get screwed over again.
Yeah.
But I can't pick the Bucks or the Packers, whichever one ends up with a wild card. Because I don't think either one can win a Super Bowl at this time. I don't think the Vikings are ready.
No.
The Giants are not ready at all.
That's just... I can't. It's too much.
No, imagine Daniel Jones in a Super Bowl right now. Exactly, you can't.
I'm just... Yeah, it's like imagining a baby wearing a full man suit.
Yeah. It's like Boss Baby.
No.
It's gross. and unnecessary.
I mean, I think it's between the Seahawks and the 49ers again.
It really is.
Like, it's just a toss-up to be... Whoever wins that division is going to be the winner overall. So I think I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with the Niners repeating it.
I'm going to go a little different. I say the NFC Championship game is Niners-Seahawks. But
okay.
I say Seahawks pull it off.
Yeah, I want it. I love the Seahawks. I don't understand why people hate them, but I think they're an interesting team to watch.
Pete Carroll is a brilliant mind. Russell Wilson's a very underrated quarterback. I'm happy to see that they
he was not underrated the second half of last season.
Last season they were actually giving him recognition for being, productive.
Until the second half of last season when he was not productive.
Yeah, but they kind of fell off a cliff. So
they did.
That it happens sometimes. So I'm going Seahawks.
Man, yeah. Will Disley, DK Metcalf,
perhaps Stephon Diggs. I mean, it's a good team. Imagine if they can keep Jadeveon Clowney on defense.
Ooh.
And perhaps
imagine the 49ers defense.
I mean, yeah, but my issue for the 49ers is not necessarily an issue for them, but I just feel like they need another receiver. But the problem is, no one I know really fits the mold that they need. And they also probably don't need it because they've proven me wrong on several occasions that they don't need it.
They're gonna go get themselves a good rookie. It's a great draft class for them.
Probably. All right. So with that said, who do you pick to win the Super Bowl between our teams here?
All right. Who did I pick to go to the Super Bowl? Ravens.
Ravens and 49ers.
Ugh.
Because you always pick the Ravens and the 49ers.
That was the best game of the entire season last year. Was Ravens versus 49ers. I think it was their first matchup. I don't know if they fought more than one time.
It was just once.
Okay, yeah, no, it was such a good game. It was so
But
good.
we've already seen that episode before.
I don't care. We didn't get to see it in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did. We got to see them in a Super Bowl.
No, we got to see the Niners in a Super Bowl. We didn't get to see the Niners and the Ravens in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did a couple years ago.
We did?
Yeah, it was back when...
that was Joe Flacco does not count. He is not... We don't remember, though. The Ravens didn't exist before Lamar Jackson came into being.
So what you're saying is you want a Jackson-Garoppolo Super Bowl.
I don't care about Garoppolo. I want Jackson versus the 49ers defense.
That would be entertaining.
And the Ravens defense versus... I mean, okay, I don't care about Garoppolo. Garoppolo is a good quarterback.
It's the running backs and the coaching that really gets it done.
Okay, yeah, no. I want to see the running back core versus the Ravens defense.
That makes sense.
I want to see the bruising battle.
I can understand that. I respect it.
But I think I ultimately...
Who would win, though?
My heart says...
Ravens.
Because
you are in love with Lamar Jackson.
He's so good.
I'm gonna
drafting him first round.
I'm gonna get you a shirtless poster of him.
I need to get a jersey because he won me a Super Bowl essentially, or he won me a fantasy championship essentially.
It's true.
I think I gotta go with the Niners. I think they're a better rounded team. But the Ravens. Ugh, why would you make me choose between two of my loves?
Well, you see, that's why I went.
All right, yeah. I'm sorry, Raven. I'm sorry, Jackson. It's the 49ers. That's who I pick.
All right. We're sticking to that. Ethan has chosen the 49ers. You'll be okay. See, that's why I went with two teams that aren't necessarily teams that I love, but they have pieces that I like.
Okay, yeah.
And honestly, they're two of the most brilliant-headed coaches out there. Andy Reid and Pete Carroll.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah.
Did you forget who I chose?
You said brilliant coaches, and I thought Harbaugh. I didn't know who else you would pick.
Andy Reid. He's got a Super Bowl to his name now, so you can't say he's a bad coach.
Yeah.
He's 1-1 in Super Bowls now.
I don't think anybody ever really doubted that Andy Reid was a good coach or was a bad coach.
Well, some people do on the internet.
said he was bad because he's good.
He knows how to perform well. which is a positive.
And I mean, I just don't want this to turn into Pat Mahomes. I just don't want the Chiefs to turn into the Patriots.
I don't either because
like 6 rings, and I don't want Pat Mahomes to become Brady. I want to like Pat Mahomes. Not that I don't like Brady, who is the greatest of all time, as I am contractually obligated to say.
Until further notice, he's still wrong. Hashtag Breeze Life.
Wrong.
Now, this said, I'm trying to follow a trend here, more of a WWE style Super Bowl.
Because so you're gonna have the Ravens win it anyway?
No.
Good choice.
No, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm building up the Chiefs and taking out very known franchises. Because they took out the 49ers this year. They'll take out the Seahawks this coming year.
Yeah.
Which is, why I chose the Seahawks. And then the following year, I say they take out, I don't know, one more big team.
The Saints.
They take out the Saints. They put Drew Brees' retirement into effect.
They take Drew Brees behind the shed. Put him down.
Honestly, if that happens,
He lives in a farm upstate now.
Yes. You only call him when you need him. He's the cleaner now. And then that's the 3 Chiefs Super Bowls. After that, Mahomes never goes to the Super Bowl again.
I mean, I think Mahomes goes to the Super Bowl like once every other year for the rest of his playing career at this point.
All right. Well, think about this. If Brady leaves the AFC and Lamar Jackson's hurt for whatever reason because he runs a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so does Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, but who would you rather run into, Pat Mahomes or Lamar Jackson?
Oh, for sure, Pat Mahomes. I would not want to run. I would not want to defend Lamar Jackson.
Oh, okay.
I would, for sure would pick to defend Pat Mahomes.
But Mahomes also
in
has,
terms of running,
he also has more options, so he doesn't have to run as much.
Yes, that is true.
But
hey,
realistically,
the Ravens are developing their options. Mark Andrews,
he's actually getting there.
And Hollywood Brown, he's gonna have a breakout year this next year. Mark my words.
I'll mark him.
2,500 or 1,200 yard season for Hollywood Brown. I didn't say Jones. Who would say Jones?
You're ridiculous. But regardless, the next 8 AFC Super Bowls are going to be one of those two in it. It's going to be the next Brady Manning. Because do you see anyone else out there?
In the AFC, in terms of being a quarterback?
Because realistically, I don't see another team currently that can compete with those two. Deshaun Watson's good, and if both of them go down, I could see him making one.
Deshaun Watson's the only other one.
Yeah, and even him, I just don't think Houston's strong enough, at least at this time, that in the next 3 or 4 years.
It could have been Andrew Luck.
It really, yeah. If Luck would have stuck around, but I understand his situation, so I just wish he could have.
Yeah, Mayfield maybe.
I don't think the Browns are ready.
Josh Allen.
That could be an interesting topic.
He's very underrated,
but unfortunately,
he can almost run. He can almost run like Pat Mahomes.
See, there's one big problem with that one.
What?
We have to make sure we have an NFL season this year.
Oh no! Shut up! Oh no! Sports is canceled. Steve reminded me.
And unfortunately, it is time for us to end, and because there are no really sports going on now, we unfortunately must say that this will be the last sports podcast for a little while.
We're going to Strictly.
Yeah.
No sports.
What can be for Strictly what?
I'm gonna go watch bowling.
What? No, I'm not to that level yet.
Got nothing. Is there darts? When's the darts championship? I know that's a thing.
Do we still have curling available?
I don't think it's in season right now.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just go watch esports. Yuck.
Ugh. Esports is boring.
It is.
Wait. Okay, so if they can't do the NFL season, are they just gonna replace it with Madden?
That's an option.
Because you know how like almost every NBA team has a 2K team as well.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what they're doing this weekend for NASCAR. All of the drivers and some of the crew members got together that play like gaming stuff, and they're all just running Atlanta on iRacing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what the NBA will do.
I mean, you realistically could.
Teach Steph Curry how to use a controller.
I would love to see some of the big guys who, God love them, they're not very good with English. Just try to, comprehend a 2K game. Because it would be quite a challenge.
Alright, well, that's enough of us complaining about no sports in our lives.
We're going to go be sad now. And we're at... I know we just ripped on it, but we're going to go record some gaming content for you guys. So, because we are still true gamers. So
I mean, I'm not a gamer. I'm just...
You're a board gamer. It counts.
Yeah, it counts? Oh, sweet. I'm a gamer!
All right. I hope you guys have a good one.
Maybe is extreme ironing still a thing?